I'm glad you could come over to see my garden.
Thanks for having me and my puppies over. I always love coming to visit your garden, Mom.
Oh, thank you.
What's new?
Well, what's new is I'm changing from a cutting garden into a butterfly garden.
Wow, looks like it has a lot of the same plants.
Well, it does. As it turns out, a lot of the flowers that are good for cutting are also good nectar plants. It worked out really well.
Look at God, that's just beautiful.
I did have to plant a lot of host plants, which are right now very small.
Wow, everything looks so beautiful. Everything's in bloom. Early June here in the southeast. Tell me about your plan for your butterfly garden, Mom.
Well, the plan is to bring them in with nectar plants, to have host plants for them, and when I find eggs or caterpillars, I'll bring them in and raise them to keep them safe, and then I'll release them. Because in nature, only 2 to 5% of eggs that are laid actually turn into butterflies. There are so many predators.
Wow, that's so much fun, Mom. I'm so excited to learn all about this. So, you have all these perennials already, and I know you enjoy the annuals. Tell me about your host plant.
Well, this is false nettle, and I actually found some caterpillars on my false nettle, which
Cool.
was amazing since I never
Look,
saw
they
any
ate so
butterflies.
much.
They did, they decimated that poor little old plant.
And
And
those were caterpillar pads down there, I guess.
yes, they're very messy, so I have to change out the padding every day.
Wow, they eat a lot.
They do, I had to keep bringing in more stalks of leaves to make sure they had enough to eat. I don't know what that one's doing on the ground.
He climbed back up there and ate, right?
Yeah, he did. What they like to do is knit a leaf closed and hide in the leaf and then eat their way out. Here is a chrysalis. We had 4 chrysalis, and when they hatched, we released them out, and there it is, a red admiral butterfly. Isn't it beautiful?
It's absolutely beautiful. This is a great opportunity for you to teach me, since you're just learning all this stuff about all the different host flowers and the colors that they like and the nectar and the process and everything you go through. But can you just tell me about the nectar plants today and maybe a couple of hosts?
Okay, well, this is a nectar plant. It's Coreopsis. It's a short-lived perennial. It is a native plant and actually an herb too. Butterflies like it because it's flat and they can readily get the nectar out of flat flowers. Um, so,
I bet you get a lot of bees too and other pollinators. I just love bees too.
yeah,
Bees and butterflies.
a lot
That's
of
absolutely
pollinators like the
beautiful.
same plants.
That's so gorgeous.
So, and it's a sun plant, and butterflies love the sun and the heat. Oh, and here's another plant. This is a gaillardia, also called blanket flower. And it's a very good nectar plant. It grows about 10 to 12 inches high.
That's the name blanket flower.
Yeah, and it blooms from late spring into fall. And here are the coneflowers. A lot of butterflies like coneflowers. It's an excellent nectar plant. Like all of these flowers, they like the sun, and the butterflies like the sun also. So that works out really well. Butterflies actually are cold-blooded, and they cannot fly when temperatures are below 55 to 60 degrees. And they really like warmer temperatures, like the 70s and 80s.
These are
These,
great cut flowers too.
oh, they really are. And they also attract goldfinch.
Birds.
Goldfinch like the seeds, so at the end of the season, leave some seed pods and you'll see the birds.
Hey, that's my picture.
That is a picture from your garden because all butterflies and the monarch like the butterfly bush. It can be invasive, so check it out before you plant one in your area.
I'm so glad it's not invasive here in the southeast. It's got to be my favorite butterfly and pollinator plant.
Yeah, it gets really tall, but in December I cut it down to about 12 inches, and by the end of the summer it'll be about 10 feet tall, and will attract numerous butterflies.
Now, this is an interesting plant. Look at the texture on that. What is this?
That's Veronica. It does have a different texture. It blooms in the summer. It'll be through blooming by fall. We like plants that bloom spring, summer, and fall because a lot of butterflies come around in the fall. This is a good summer plant. Good cut flower, too.
Well, you know, I just really think that is absolutely gorgeous. Such a beautiful plant. I'm excited. Most of these are sun plants. What's this?
This is bee balm. It's a very short bloomer. It only blooms for about 2 weeks, but it's pretty impressive, and it not only attracts butterflies, but also hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds.
Yeah, it can be a little invasive, so you have to be a little bit careful with it. Here's some purple bee balm. It's shorter, as you can see, but it's not in full sun. It's only in part sun. And because it's in part sun, and because we've had a lot of rain, the leaves are getting powdery mildew on them, which all bee balm is prone to.
Does it hurt the butterflies?
No, it doesn't hurt the butterflies. The nectar is not affected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, this is great to take time to smell the flowers and learn about all these plants. And most of them are in full sun, which is my garden. That's fabulous.
This garden is so big and beautiful. It's full of so many blooms.
Well, thank you. I even put some in containers. If all you have is a patio, you can put plants in containers. Don't let this garden intimidate you if you're interested in butterfly gardening.
Here, this is one of my favorites.
Yes, this is the Shasta daisy. It's a long bloomer too. Again, as long as you keep cutting back the dead ones, it'll keep flowering because its whole purpose is to make seeds. And when the flowers are not turning into seeds, it just keeps making more flowers.
That's awesome.
That is such a happy flower. I
It
really
really
do
is.
like it.
What are these? These are so pretty.
This is garden phlox. They're tall. They're about 2 feet tall. And don't they bloom beautifully?
They do.
And they're a flat flower, a bunch of little tiny flat flowers that's easy for the butterflies to get the nectar out of.
This is interesting.
This is one of my favorites too, one of the first to bloom in the spring and last in the fall. It's scabiosa, which is an ugly name. It's also called pinflower.
Looks like a pin cushion.
It does.
They're so pretty and so
They are.
delicate looking.
It's a short flower, so it's good to put at the front of your garden.
So what do we got here?
This is Lateris, which is just now beginning to bloom. It looks kind of sorry right now, but it will really be pretty in another week or so. And here's a bachelor button. It's a black bachelor button. I bought those seeds. I thought it'd be fun. Some more bachelor buttons. This is the bed that I started from seed. We also have some cosmos that haven't done anything yet. And the little red flowers are the verbena. They'll spread out and be about 18 inches wide and attract a lot of pollinators.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's real small now, but it'll get big. It'll still be a low-growing plant. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about annuals. Here's some lantana. As I mentioned before, you can always plant in containers. If you don't have much space and you just have a patio, you can plant in containers. Plant it, and they will come.
I love lantanas.
And also, hummingbirds like the red lantana, so that's an extra bonus right there.
For sure.
Oh, here are marigolds.
I love marigolds. They bloom all season.
They do. When buying plants, be sure to get the plants that are labeled no nicotinoids because nicotinoids kill the butterflies. Oh, and one more thing, you need to be sure to have zinnias. Do you plant zinnias?
I love zinnias.
So do all of the butterflies, especially in the fall.
I love monarchs. What can I do to attract more monarchs?
Oh, everyone loves monarchs. You need to plant butterfly weed if you're interested in monarchs. All milkweeds are the host plants for monarchs. And butterfly weed is also a nectar plant for a lot of other butterflies.
It's the host plant.
Yes, it is. This one is a tall white milkweed.
No
It's
flowers.
no flowers right now. It was blooming earlier and it will bloom again.
What is the purpose of a host plant?
A host plant is the plant that the butterfly lays her eggs on. Each butterfly species has their own host plant or plants. The monarch butterfly is really picky and only use milkweed as their host plant. The female senses with her feet, some call it smell, some call it taste, to find out if the plant that she's on is the right plant for her to lay her eggs on.
Great. What's this?
This is some milkweed that I've just planted. Next year it'll be as big as the one we just saw. It is butterfly weed, but it will get as big as the white milkweed that we just saw. The first year it's not going to get as big, so don't be disappointed if you plant something and the first year it doesn't get as big as you think it should. Just give it some time.
That's fabulous. Is there anything else that I need to know about?
Well, you need to know not to use pesticides and to make sure that the plants that you buy aren't already treated with nicotinoids.
Thank you so much for sharing all this information, Mom.
Well, I hope that you can plant some nectar plants and enjoy your garden.
I think we need to make some more videos, Mom.
Yes, we do. We need to do host plants.
Definitely. Be sure to subscribe, everybody, because we're going to do host plants, raising butterflies, fall and nectar plants, and how to maintain your butterfly gardens, and various other videos that we feel that will be a good assistance in your butterfly gardening endeavors.
Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day and happy butterfly watching.